Spin left the group one time.
Yeah.
And came back as Salt left the one. I was the original member. I stayed true to Salt and Peppa. But, it's a lot of times they ask, for Salt and Peppa to talk or be here, and they don't have Spinderella. It's out of our hands, and she always blames us, think that's, to fight. We do fight, but sometimes they like, no, we just want, the Salt and Peppa.
When you don't see someone that works as an equal, that does the same thing that you're doing as an equal, and you treat them as such. I woke up to that. I woke up and I said, no more.
So I told myself after Lifetime put out that damn horrible Aaliyah movie, that god-awful Aaliyah movie, that I was not about to be watching no more Lifetime biopics. If it's not on BT or Netflix, hell, maybe even TV One, okay, I'll watch it, but Lifetime just screwed that movie up. I think I watched like the first 20 minutes and I turned. It was just horrible. But they made up a little ground. The Clark Sisters movie wasn't bad. A few other movies were okay. So I said, you know what? It's nothing else on TV last night. So let me go ahead and watch this. I used to love Salt and Peppa. And I said, let me check out this movie. And to my surprise, I stayed through the whole thing and it wasn't bad. So we're going to get into it. First and foremost, it's your girl, Carmen Renee. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please, please, please help me out. Click my subscribe button. I'm trying to reach 5,000 subscribers, so I appreciate you clicking on this video. And please be sure to like it. Thumbs up if you like the movie. Stay around and let's talk about it. If you saw the movie, stick around, listen to this video, and see if you agree with my thoughts. And if you have not seen the movie yet, please watch this video so I can let you know if it's worth it, because it was 3 hours with a bunch of commercials, okay? The movie came on at 8 o'clock p.m. all the way to 11. They know they could have cut a lot of those commercials, but hey, that's what they do. Now, also stick around because we are going to get into the Salt and Peppa drama with Spinderella, okay? So this will be about the movie, but we also got some tea. Spinderella is suing Salt and Peppa, and, we got a little bit of tea going on with that situation and some drama. I want to know what y'all think about that too. So let's get into the movie first. Now, the movie is, of course, based on Salt and Peppa. So the characters, at first I was iffy. I was like, I don't really like these Salt and Peppa characters. Like, they probably could have found someone better. But by the middle of the movie, I was like, okay, I'm rocking with them. Like, they doing a pretty good job. Sandra Peppa Denton was played by Layla Odom. And Cheryl Salt James was played by Gigi Townsend. Now, the movie starts out, they met at the mall. So I'm assuming this is a true story in real life. They met, it was like a mall. And Salt worked for Sears. Shout out to Sears. I used to work for Sears. But no shout out to Sears because they fired me and a bunch of other people for no damn reason. So forget about Sears. But Salt was working for Sears and she was sitting at the table handing people, little brochures to come apply. It was like the Sears call center. Peppa she was there with some friends playing spades or whatever, She was like, Salt, you trying to play? Salt was like, I know how to play, but nah, I'm a pass. Peppa was like, what the hell you doing? And Salt was like, oh, I work for Sears. It's an easy job. Just looking to help people get hired. So, long story short, of course, she ends up helping Peppa get a job. And they show Peppa at work with Salt at this Sears call center. It's a packed call center. Now, guess who else worked at the call center? Kid and Play, and this is, of course, in New York, where they're from. Kid and Play, and Martin Lawrence. Now, that is just crazy to me how all those people eventually, of course, blew up, but how they all worked under that same job, a call center job. Now, strike one, the Martin Lawrence that they chose, that worked at the call center looked like he was 45. I couldn't believe it. I instantly went to Twitter like, who is this man? Which Martin Lawrence are y'all talking about? It got to be another Martin Lawrence that they talking about because I know that's not supposed to be the comedian Martin Lawrence. But yes, take a look. I'm going to show the picture. This is who they had playing Martin Lawrence. And I was like, this is a damn shame already. I honestly was expecting it to get worse from here. But it got better, people. So although the Martin looked a hot mess, the Kid and Play actually looked nice. They actually looked like they could be Kid and Play, so I wasn't really mad at that. But that Martin, oh no, Twitter was like, what in the world is going on? Follow me on Twitter, Karma Renee XO. You'll see everybody laughing at my photo that I posted of Martin Lawrence in my caption, because I'm like, I know this is not Martin Lawrence, okay? So, moving on though, it gets a little better. They basically work at the call center together, and it looks like a very easy job. And then Salt has this boyfriend who, Herbie, of course, which we know now as Herbie Lovebug. He wanted her to get into rapping with him, but then it wasn't really working out, trying to be like a rap couple. So he said, nah, you need another female. And she had her Peppa beatboxing, so she was like, well, let me just try Peppa. And so that's how they became a group. And really, Herbie is the one who kind of put them together and kind of made them initially who they were when they were Salt and Peppa with the outfits. Except for the haircut. Now, the haircut, Peppa got a bad perm. And, you know, her hair fell out. And Salt, being a good friend, she was like, well, let's just cut the side of our hair and have it on the side and whoop-de-whoop. So that's where they came up with those Salt and Peppa iconic hairstyles. But yeah, he kind of pretty much created them, basically, and made the Salt and Peppa that first came out. Herbie, I didn't like him. I mean, I will give him his props because, yeah, he did pretty much make Salt and Peppa. But he was real rude to Peppa for whatever reason. And, of course, Salt, I was about to say Cheryl, but, of course, Salt, whatever, same person, being his girlfriend, he was kind of nicer on her. And I guess Salt was the more skilled rapper when it came to pronunciation and all that stuff. She was the one who kind of was the better rapper at first. But she had a little bit of experience because she was rapping with him. And y'all, my voice is a little gone. I've been singing Keisha Cole and Ashanti for the past few days. It rained on me. I should have cheated, all that. I've been singing, so please don't mind it. So yeah, he was like an asshole to Peppa. And you know Peppa, she from, I think, Jamaica, Queens. And she like, who the F you talking to? Like, I'm not Salt, because he would always say, do it like Salt. She's like, I'm not MF and Salt. Stop telling me that. So yeah, I mean, they work with Herbie. In the beginning of the movie, it was just a few things that happened. They were just pretty much trying to figure out the group. They were like doing music and they were having some success, but they didn't blow up just yet. Within about probably 2 years or so, we could see early on that Herbie ass was cheating, okay? They got a good Herbie. The guy that they got to play Herbie, that was actually a good matchup. I will give Lifetime a thumbs up for him. So they met with a label, and it was just him and Salt. And I was wondering, like, why is Peppa not at this meeting? But okay. And the guy at the label was like basically going to offer them $5,000 up front and then $9,000 on the back end for an album or something. They was all happy, but Herbie was like, "Look, I'm taking this much, and you can take whatever you want, but Peppa shouldn't get as much as you because technically you're like the main rapper and the main one doing most of the stuff." And Salt was like, I mean, but she's a part of the group, and it's Salt and Peppa. By the way, he gave them their name. He was like, Salt, well, he was like, Cheryl, you Salt, Sandy, you Peppa. And that's how they became Salt and Peppa. But she was really, trying to be loyal. Like, nah, I wouldn't feel right taking more money than her. We're both in this together. And I think that was nice of her. So she split her money evenly with Salt. But that showed that Herbie was he was starting to become a little bit of a snake now. We got to see him being a little cheater early on. And then they was in the studio and Salt got a phone call like, you might want to make sure your man change the sheets in that little bed in his basement. First of all, how you know he got a bed in his basement? And number two, Salt just went and sat down and was like, oh, it was a wrong number. Because Herbie was like, who on the phone? And she gonna say it was a wrong number. How do women ignore stuff like that? Like, why do y'all ignore red flags and then end up wasting years of your life? Like, now you wasted 5 years with this man when you could have cut him off after year 2. Like, it had 3 whole years. Like, you stayed 3 extra years. Now, Spinderella came in. First, they had this one DJ. And to me, it seemed like Herbie was messing with the DJ. And one day the DJ was late. So Herbie just fired her. But I really feel like either the DJ was, I don't know, she was messing with him. And Salt was kind of picking up on it. So I think that he was like, nah, let me go ahead and get rid of her. I can't be messing with the DJ. So he went and found Spinderella. Spinderella was in high school. She was 16. Salt and Peppa was like, okay, she kind of young, but whatever. they went with it. And she became a part of Salt N Pepa before Push It. So she was there for a while. She was there for a long time. And then Push It came out. Herbie made Push It. And that's when they blew up and became Salt N Pepa. Okay. Now, some man stopped Pepa and was like, what's y'all business? How many points did y'all get in? And on the album and all this and that. Pepa was like, we getting 6. He was like, 6 is not bad, but you should be getting more. She was like, no, I mean 6 together. Like, I'm getting 3, she getting 3. And he like, oh, hell no. Like, you need to get your business right. So thank God they did not have a TLC situation because somebody put Pepa on game early and let her know, like, no, she needs to be getting more money. And Salt was on board. Salt agreed, and they had a meeting with the label and Herbie and the label, and they were able to, get more money and do what they needed to do. So they didn't have a TLC moment. Oh, thank God they didn't have, what's her name? Pebbles trying to take all their damn money, okay? So the movie started to actually, get good. Pepa met this dude at the club or at like a little bar, and of course he was trying to impress her with the money, and he was like, oh, I'm gonna buy everybody in here a drink. And she was impressed. Mind you, she had just brought herself a $60,000 Benz. So why are you impressed by a dude buying everybody a drink? Like, women have to realize it is not about money. If a man tries to win you over with his money, with just his money, then that's the problem. Like, he needs to be trying to win you over with the other stuff that he got going on too. So he actually turns out being Tyran's dad, which I had no idea. I felt like Tyran had a different dad because I knew that, I don't know, I just didn't feel like Treach was his daddy, but I never knew, I never confirmed it. But yeah, so he became Tyran's dad. So Pepa started dating him real quick and enjoying the lifestyle, and then she got pregnant and he kind of wasn't ready for all that, so he wasn't around. One scene that I loved though is when she gave birth to Tyran, to see her like just calling and screaming for Salt. Mind you, Salt had just kind of went through it. She had just left Herb. Herb had a baby. Yeah, so Herb had a side baby. She found out, so she finally left his ass. So she was in the bathroom having a mental breakdown and everything, and then Pepa called saying the baby was coming, so she got together and went to the hospital. And it was just to see Pepa screaming for Salt, like, where's my friend? And I can see Pepa in real life, like, where is my friend at? I'm not doing this till she get here. And to see Salt be there and support her, I hope that Salt N Pepa, because Salt N Pepa have had their differences too. Like, they've been back on track for a while, but yeah, there was a time period. But I hope that they both watched that scene and saw, you know what, like, we really have been friends for a long time. We really have love for each other. We really have each other's backs, and hopefully they will stay close. I know that they're not at the best situation with Spinderella, but hopefully they watched that and was like, you know what, that's really my girl. Like, we good. We gonna ride this till the wheels falls off. Let me back it up a little bit. So before Salt ended things with Herbie and found out about the baby, Pepa had her go out on a date with this dude named Gavin. And Gavin was just a regular guy. Just nice, sweet. Pursuing Salt, even though Salt did have a boyfriend and she told him. And not much happened then, but I guess right after she left Herbie, she kind of probably went running to him, and then she got pregnant by him. So Pepa had her baby, and then literally probably like a year later, Salt was pregnant. And she was on the Arsenio Hall show. She still had to work with Herbie because, for business, they were still working together. So Pepa had her baby, and then they were on the Arsenio Hall show, and Salt was pregnant. And Arsenio said, oh, yeah, you pregnant by your producer dude. Like, y'all been together for 5 years. He kind of went on to talk about other stuff, and she never really said anything. And her baby daddy was mad, but obviously, she talking about what was I supposed to do, and I didn't want to start nothing, and what was I supposed to say. So for a little minute, she had the whole world basically thinking her baby was from Herbie, knowing damn well it wasn't. So I don't know back then what she did to clear that rumor up, but he was mad. Like, you gonna have everybody thinking that your baby is by her. Why? Because I'm a regular dude. Like, I'm not an industry guy. So she knows, Salt know that she could have said something like, oh, actually, me and her are not together anymore. And, I'm in a new relationship. I don't want to speak too much about it, but it ain't his damn baby. And that would have been fine. Like, Arsenio would have been like, oh, okay, moving on. Now, Spinderella, we didn't see much of in the movie. I don't even know why they had her in it. But then again, they should have had her in it, and we should have saw more of her. But if y'all were going to do her the way that y'all did her, why y'all even put her in the movie? I mean, I guess they had to. Like, there's no way they could not have had somebody be Spinderella. But the girl barely got to talk. She barely said anything. I mean, she was just barely there. And we knew that she was their DJ, but we didn't find out anything else about Spinderella. Spinderella was upset, I think, because she wanted to be more... Let me get this right. So Spinderella went to social media and, put out that she was disappointed that the decision to move forward with the Lifetime biopic that excluded her from every aspect of development and production was still going to be released. Like, they didn't consult Spinderella about nothing regarding the movie, regarding her life, nothing. And Salt N Pepa still signed on and wanted to do the movie. They did not give anything about Spinderella. Like, we learned nothing about Cinderella, and it definitely pretty much left her out, and the people on Twitter noticed it and was like, this is just crazy. Like, why is Spin even here at this point? It was a hot mess. I mean, the girl, we didn't learn nothing except for she joined the group when she was 16. That's all we learned about Spinderella. So I do feel like Salt N Pepa should have made sure that we knew more and we saw more about Spin. I mean, the movie is about y'all. It's no way that y'all didn't have some type of control over what was going to be in this movie. So that, I'm really kind of disappointed, but they don't look at her as Salt N Pepa, unfortunately. Salt has said it out of her mouth, and I'm going to show the clip.
And Spinderella always felt like she should be a third in the group. We always felt like we were hiring Spinderella to be a DJ, and she feels angry about why isn't everything equal.
I saw your promos for the talk. How was it?
I didn't get to do that with them.
Oh, you didn't?
The purpose of us being there is to promote the show and to do that.
That which you are a part of.
Right. And then we have a performance attached to it.
Right.
So we're a 3-member group.
Right.
They didn't have a seat set for me during the actual conversation part. Tell me, what happens with you guys?
There are 3
Has
seats.
that happened?
There will always be 3 seats.
But has that happened?
Never.
That I wasn't gonna do it if they didn't make that seat for me. And Salt was like, do what you have to do. That's what she said.
Now, I understand a little bit of where Salt is coming from because Spinderella was hired after they were already Salt N Pepa as a DJ. But after so many years of her being with y'all and being on magazine covers and tours and it being Salt N Pepa with her there, I just feel like at least now you all should look at her as a third member with Salt N Pepa. When you look up Salt N Pepa, it's hard to find pictures without Spinderella. Okay, so why they feel like she's not really Salt N Pepa and the whole world sees her as Salt N Pepa, I don't know. Now, after they have their babies, there seems like their kids are maybe like 1 year apart or a year and a half apart. Treach comes in. This is when we see Treach come on in. Now, the dude playing Treach didn't look like him, but he was cute, so I'm gonna give it a pass. Like, he was kind of a good Treach. I felt Treach vibes, even though he didn't necessarily look like Treach. So I'm gonna give it to him. I think his name is Jerome. Let me check his last name. His name is, Jamel, sorry. Jamel Howard. He played Treach. And, I mean, he did a good job. They spared Treach because we all, I think she said that Treach was abusing her, so we all know that. But they never really showed physical abuse in the movie. They just kind of showed him blowing up, throwing some stuff, breaking some stuff. But they didn't go too far to mention, the actual physical abuse and her being beat. But they just kind of let us read between the lines. They would show him get upset, throw a bottle, or kind of get in her face and hit the wall. But they didn't actually, they didn't go as far as Ike and Tina now. It wasn't like what's love got to do with it. So I think because her and Treach are, cool and right now, they're in a good space and, they get along, co-parenting and everything. I think she didn't want to really show everything and go too into detail. Seems like they left some stuff out. But they also showed the good side of Treach, which was the fact that he was a great father to her first son, Tyran. They showed moments where that's how they met, actually. Her son was at an event with her, and he ran up with Treach, was playing with Treach. And she was like, he don't go to nobody. What the hell he doing in your arms? After being together and getting married, they showed Treach and Tyran, her son, he's a little bit older, probably like 7, and he's eating some cereal, and Treach is talking to him, and they're just having that bonding time, somewhat father and son bonding time, because he doesn't have his father. So it just kind of showed why she stayed with him, but of course, if you're being abused, none of that other stuff matter. Like, that's when you gotta leave. Like, I want to say he left her because Salt started to get into the church and stuff, and Salt was bulimic, so that was something that she talked about. They kept showing her throwing up. Now, I just thought the girl was pregnant. Like, I'm sorry, I just thought she was pregnant or sick, but she was actually throwing up her food, so she was bulimic, and she was at church, and the pastor was talking about, stuff that's not good for us, like food and certain men and certain friends, and you gotta let go of stuff. And she called Pep and was like, I can't do it, gotta let you go. Can't really, I think this was probably like 2002 or 3, I don't know. But she was like, I can't do it. I can't be joint to your hip anymore. Can't really be attached. So Peppa was crying because, her and Treach had just ended it. So she was like, damn, my father died. Treach leave me. Now you trying to leave me. Okay, go ahead. That was actually towards the end of the movie, though. So basically, Salt ended up marrying Gavin. They're not together today, though. In current time, 2021, she's single. But she did get back with him and got married. And I think they had another child. And then Peppa, her and Treach were no more. But she did have a daughter with Treach. We know that. You can see her on Growing Up Hip Hop, even though her and her boyfriend get on my damn nerves. And Treach and Peppa get on my nerves on Growing Up Hip Hop. I'm sorry. That's a whole nother topic. Although the movie was actually kind of good, I don't like the way they ended it. They ended it with the Hip Hop Honors from VH1. The VH1 Hip Hop Honors, where Salt N Pepa was honored, obviously. And it was just like a performance. And then that was it. Like, it was a performance. And then they showed us the real Salt N Pepa. I was like, this is it. Like, I did not like that at all. And the Hip Hop Honors was in 2005. So from 2005 all the way to 2021, we didn't see anything that happened from there. It just stopped at the Hip Hop Honors. And it was like, okay, what happened from 2005 to 2021? Salt obviously is divorced now. Peppa, we know Peppa. Peppa been in relationships, Lord. She was with that man who was married and everything and by or something, that damn man that she had on the show. But just other stuff that went on, I just felt like, they probably could have showed us a little bit more. Hell, tell us what's going on now. Spinderella doesn't feel like she's a part of the group. She's suing Salt N Pepa. Now, Spinderella is suing them for about $600,000, and she was saying it's for just performances she never got paid for, shows, a Billboard Awards performance, the Salt N Pepa show she was never paid fairly for. And the judge has ordered it to mediation, kind of like figure it out amongst yourselves. Now, Salt N Pepa are like, hey, your contract had nothing to do with our contract, so we don't know what's going on with that. But Spin should have been on top of that. I will say this, she should have been on top of that when that stuff was going on. However, I do feel like they treat Spin wrong. I mean, even watching the SWV show with Salt N Pepa, Ladies Night, if you watch that, comment below and let me know if you remember. They were like not really treating Spinderella fair. Even SWV was like, damn, we thought Coco was bad, but Salt N Pepa, they doing Spinderella wrong. It was a lot. Just like they had a vacation and Peppa was like going so hard, like, let's go on vacation. Then the vacation come. Y'all got Spinderella out here with SWV, and then you got Salt and Peppa talking about, oh, we couldn't make it. I don't feel good, and like they just really didn't want to go. What? Like, Peppa, you was the main one going hard for the trip, and now y'all got Spinderella out here by herself with SWV. Like, it was wrong how they were doing her. So I don't know. I mean, of course I want them to get it together. A lot of the DJs have showed support, and the fans, period, have showed support for Spinderella. She should definitely be included, even if she was just the DJ. But I do feel like back then, Spinderella probably should have did a little bit more. Like, hey, let me rap a verse. Let me do something. I don't know. Let me get my Dougie Fresh on to where I'm seeing a little bit more. But still, Salt N Pepa, they look at her as a sister. If they're supposed to, they should really. They claim they fight hard for her, but I just feel like they should probably fight a little bit harder. They did give her like $1.6 million of their contract years and years ago when they became big, and they didn't have to give her that, which is nice, but again, that's money, but when you're doing talk shows and they're like, oh, we want Salt N Pepa, but just y'all two, it's not going to kill them to pull up a third seat for Spinderella. And they claim, like, we tell them and we go hard, but obviously y'all are not going hard enough, because I would be like, look, Salt N Pepa is 3 people. Give us 3 seats. If you interview SWV, you're going to have 3 seats for them, right? If you interview Destiny's Child, you're going to have 3 seats depending on when it was. If it was back in the day, you would have had 4 seats. Give us that same respect and give us 3 seats. And I feel like, yeah, they probably could fight a little bit harder for that. But we will see where this leads up to. Please comment below. Let me know if y'all like the movie and your thoughts and anything that you noticed that stuck out to you. And check out this movie. You know, if you haven't seen it yet and you do go watch it, come back, comment, let me know what you thought. And I appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you.